I read the news so that you don't have to. Did you hear that the US just killed a Swiss bank overnight? As you can see, this headline says, Kiss of Death, how the US killed a Swiss merchant bank. Come in, let me tell you what's happening. So there's this Swiss bank called M. Baer Merchant Bank, and they were founded by a descendant of the famous Julia Baer dynasty. Now, they were trying to be like this new kind of private bank, more flexible, entrepreneurial, willing to take clients that banks had started to avoid. Okay, quick context. Over the last decade or so, Switzerland's been under quite a lot of pressure, especially from the US, to clean up their image around tax evasion, sanction busting, and basically dirty money. So what was happening was big players like UBS and Credit Suisse, when they were alive, they pulled back, but MBA, they leaned in. So now the breakdown, let me give you the messy parts. The US, specifically the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, accused the bank of acting like a gateway for dirty money. How dirty? Well, we're talking about funds linked to Russia, sanctions evasions tied to the Venezuelan oil industry, networks connected to Iran's Revolutionary Guard. So perhaps for some, dirty is relative, but the key line is this. They said that the bank was a critical access node to the US dollar for illicit actors. What does that mean? Basically, they were saying that if you want to move dodgy money around the world, this bank was the one to help you do it, allegedly. So what are the Swiss doing? Well, the Swiss regulator FINMA had actually been investigating MBAR for years. But critics, they were saying, listen, y'all move too slow. Hurry up now. Because in global finance, slow equals dangerous. So then the US does what the US does, and they stepped in using something called a Section 311. This is pretty serious. When the US uses Section 311, or the US Treasury rather, it basically telling the world that this institution is a money laundering risk. Don't touch them. And more importantly, they get cut off from the US financial system. And if you are cut off from the US dollar, you're not really a bank anymore. And just like that, MBAR went into liquidation. Game over. No long court battle, no slow collapse, just switch off the oxygen supply. And this further illustrates that this isn't just about one bank, this is about power. It shows that the US doesn't just regulate its own banks, it can effectively control who gets to participate in the global financial system, even in Switzerland, even in one of the most secretive banking systems in the world. So the question for you is this: if one decision in Washington can take down a bank in Zurich, who's actually in charge of global finance?